2008 for the state of Texas. So being superintendent of the year in 2008 in the state of Texas was the most memorable moment. And Ethan, the reason it was so memorable is you win that because of the great work that students are doing. So all the high grades y'all earn and all the things you do in the state testing, things that students do in extracurricular activities at the high school, all that goes into that award. So winning the Superintendent of the Year award really was a compliment to the student body. So that's why it was my most memorable moment.
What do you do for fun when you're not working?
I read. I love to read. Do you like to read?
Mm-hmm.
What do you read?
I read Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. No, I have not read any of the Harry Potter. I've watched all their movies. But I've not read any Harry Potter. They're pretty thick books, aren't they? I like to read history. I read a lot of history, particularly about famous people in history. So that's what I like to do is really read. Most of the time, though, I'm pretty busy going to school events and school activities, so there's not a lot of free time.
Mm-hmm.
But when I do, I like to relax and read.
Okay.
What's your next question?
Do you play any video games?
Yes, I do.
Which ones?
Madden is one of my favorite video games. I really enjoy Madden football. And then I like NCAA football as well. I play that on the Xbox. Now, I'm not real good at it. You probably could beat me pretty easily, but I do enjoy playing it. Right now, I'm playing a season and trying to get my guys ready for the regular season.
Can you explain to our students what your job entails?
Yes. The main thing that my job entails is making sure that teachers have enough resources, teachers have enough materials and supplies and information to teach you all well. So that's the biggest part of a superintendency. It's just putting together the budget, which is actually all the money you have in the district to make sure that teachers have everything they need to teach in the classroom. And then, of course, your principal, Mrs. Blighter, and all the principals report to me. They work for me, I'm their boss. So it's also supervising the principals.
What do you like to read?
What do I like to read? I like to read history, particularly history that's related to famous people. So I really like to read things about great American heroes like George Washington or Abraham Lincoln. I like to read about world leaders like Winston Churchill. He was a great leader of England during World War II. So a lot of biographies. When you read a story about people in history, it's called a biography. If the person wrote it themselves, it's called an auto, A-U-T-O biography. So I like to read biographies and autobiographies.
What is your food of choice?
My food of choice? Beans and wieners. I like beans. Do you know what beans and wieners are?
No.
Okay, you take hot dogs and you cut them up and you simply put them on the grill and let them get cooked. Then you take beans, like Campbell's baked beans, and you put them in a pot and you heat those up, and then you just mix the hot dogs with the beans. That's actually my favorite food. Now,
Sounds weird.
it's not weird. You got to come by and have some time. You have your mom or dad bring you by. You live around the corner from me. I also like steak. I enjoy a good steak.
Yes, steak is my favorite.
Steak your favorite? I like a good steak too. But a kid food is beans and wieners. I mean, that's a kid food, and that's why I enjoy eating. I'm sure a lot of your classmates have had beans and wieners. Some has just called beans and hot dogs. Okay.
Okay.
And you put a little ketchup in it.
Oh,
Yeah, you did. It's good.
Okay. What
It's
is
not
your-
real good for you though, Ethan. Yeah, I can only eat it like once every 6 months. Because I eat like about 4 hot dogs. You know what I'm saying? When you mix it together, there's like about 4 hot dogs in every
serve.
serving of my beans and wieners.
Okay.
It's a lot of hot dogs.
What is your favorite place to travel, or what destination would you most like to go?
The University of Texas. I like to go up there to Austin and just go to football games and baseball games and basketball games. And sometimes I even go to concerts at the University of Texas. I know it's not very far away, but that's my favorite place to go outside of Kerrville. It's just to Austin and go to UT and watch sporting events and other things that happen on the campus. It's a lot of fun.
Okay.
You have more?
Yeah.
It's going to be a long article. Well, good.
Do
I
you
hope our
have
answers
any
for you.
pets?
I do not have any pets. I always wanted a dog, but my wife won't let me get one.
Yeah, we found a stray, and so we just kept her. We put up all these signs, and then people ripped them down.
Really? So you did try to find the owner, but you weren't able to. No, I would love to have a dog someday, but my wife would let me get one, but that was a joke. We just travel too much, and I have sons who play high school sports. I have a freshman and a senior, so we're always traveling. We just can't leave a dog at home while we're traveling all the time. And you can't take dogs into sporting events. Most places won't allow you to bring a dog into a football game or, a baseball game. So we're going to have to wait till the boys get a little bit older before we get a dog.
Is there a quote you live by?
I really do try to live by, to be an example for all the students in Kerrville ISD. There's not a specific quote, but I like to live by, be a good example for all the students in our school district. And that means that even when people aren't watching what you're doing the right thing. Because you never know. And you have to look yourself in the mirror every morning. So that's the hardest thing of all. I think even in fourth grade, you probably find that hard. You're with your group of friends, your parents aren't around, the teachers aren't around, nobody's watching, and somebody wants to do something they shouldn't be doing. Sometimes it's hard to say, no, I'm not going to do that. So I try to live by, if students were watching me, am I doing the right thing?
What individual?
Your handwriting's about as neat as mine. I can read it. It's small. You write small. Can you read that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, good. As long as you can read, because you got to write the article.
What individual has inspired you most?
I have to say my father. I mean, if I could pick one person, it'd be my father. I think he's a remarkably intelligent person, and he's the type of person who does what I said earlier. He makes sure that everything he does, he treats people well and acts appropriately in all situations. So the person that I admire the most and I most like to be like is probably my father. You probably feel the same way about your dad.
Mm-hmm.
I know your dad well. He's a great guy. So you want to always try to keep the name Wrase, in the back of your mind, because you don't want anybody to not think well of your family and everything that your dad and your mom have done and what you're trying to do.
Is there anything else you like?
No, I want to thank you, though, because I think it's a lot of work what you're doing. That's a lot of questions. Putting together a newspaper is not the easiest thing to do. But I'm very proud of you guys for doing this. I think it's a really good thing. And even though you may hear that newspapers are dying, not many people are buying newspapers, that's just not true. People are reading them differently. They're reading them on computers, their iPads, their iPhones. It's just a different way of reading it. So what you're doing is a very important thing, an important skill. So thank you for working so hard on it. You done? Well, thank you. We better go back to the next door. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you doing this.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to get to know you.